7-year-old Leo lived in a house filled with more Lego sets than he could build, more sneakers than he could wear, and more snacks than he could eat. But to Leo, more was never enough. His parents, hard-working people who wanted to give him the world, often found themselves exhausted by his reactions. When his mother surprised him with a new book, Leo would scowl because it wasn't a video game. When his father took him for ice cream, Leo would cry because he wanted 2 scoops instead of 1. He lived in a constant state of not good enough. The birthday that changed everything. For Leo's 7th birthday, his parents planned a backyard carnival. There was a bouncy castle, a face painter, and a massive chocolate cake. Leo's grandparents had even saved up to buy him a high-end remote-controlled mountain crawler, the one thing he had begged for all year. When the moment came to open it, Leo ripped the paper, looked at the box, and his face fell. "It's the red one," he whined, his voice piercing the party silence. "I told you I wanted the blue one. This one looks stupid." He pushed the expensive toy away, causing it to tumble off the table and crack against the patio stone. His grandmother's face paled. His father's jaw tightened. "Leo," his father said quietly, "if you cannot appreciate what has been given to you with love, then perhaps you aren't ready to own anything at all." The week of nothing. The next morning, Leo woke up to a bare room. His toys, his tablet, and even his colorful duvet were gone, replaced by a simple gray blanket. "Where's my stuff?" he demanded at breakfast. "They are taking a holiday," his mother said calmly. "Since they didn't make you happy, we decided they shouldn't take up your space." That afternoon, a heavy rainstorm hit. Usually, Leo would spend rainy days playing video games or building complex tracks. Instead, he sat by the window with nothing but his thoughts. He found an old, half-broken crayon and a piece of scrap paper. He spent 3 hours carefully drawing a picture of his family. For the first time in years, he wasn't looking for the next thing. He was focused on what was right in front of him. By day 3, Leo was bored and lonely. He realized that his ungratefulness had built a wall between him and the people who loved him. He missed his grandmother's hugs, but he was too ashamed to ask for one after mocking her gift. The lesson learned. On the 4th day, Leo walked into the kitchen. He saw his mother washing dishes. Instead of asking for a snack or complaining about the menu, he picked up a towel. "Mom," he whispered, "I'm sorry about the truck and the cake and everything. I think I forgot how lucky I am to have you guys." His parents didn't give everything back at once. They taught him the value of slow return. As he showed genuine thanks for his bed, he got his bed back. As he showed thanks for his books, he got his books back. Leo realized the hard way that ungratefulness doesn't just push away things, it pushes away peace. The importance of gratitude. Gratitude is more than just good manners. It is a spiritual posture that shifts our focus from what we lack to the abundance we already possess. When we are ungrateful, we become blind to the blessings that sustain us, leading to a life of perpetual discontent. Biblical backing. The Bible emphasizes that a thankful heart is central to a peaceful life. 1 Thessalonians 5:18. Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. This verse reminds us that gratitude isn't dependent on having perfect conditions, but on recognizing God's presence in every moment. Psalm 107:1. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his steadfast love endures forever. Proverbs 17:22. A joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. Ungratefulness dries up our joy, while gratitude acts as a healing medicine for the soul. By teaching children to say thank you, we are teaching them to see the world through a lens of grace rather than entitlement.